Sexting is a term that has become part of our everyday language, describing the act of sending sexually explicit messages, images, or videos through digital devices. What might start as a private exchange between consenting individuals can quickly move into dangerous territory when legal boundaries are crossed. Understanding the legal risks and consequences of sexting is crucial not only for protecting yourself, but also for appreciating how seemingly innocent digital interactions can have lasting impacts. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that laws regarding sexting can vary widely depending on your location, the ages of those involved, and the nature of the content shared. In many places, the law draws a sharp distinction between adult consensual sexting and situations involving minors. For adults over the legal age of consent, sending explicit material to another consenting adult is generally not a criminal act. However, once minors are involved, the situation becomes much more complicated and potentially criminal. When minors create, possess, or share sexually explicit images or videos of themselves or others, they may unknowingly be producing and distributing what is classified as child pornography under the law. This is true even if the images were taken voluntarily and shared with a boyfriend or girlfriend. The consequences of these actions can be severe and far-reaching. In many jurisdictions, individuals convicted of child pornography offenses face heavy fines, lengthy prison sentences, and mandatory registration as sex offenders. This registration can impact everything from employment opportunities to housing and even social relationships for years, if not a lifetime. Consider a scenario where two teenagers in a romantic relationship exchange intimate messages and images. While the exchange might feel private and consensual, if those images are stored on devices or shared with others, the law may interpret the possession and distribution as criminal acts. Even forwarding a received image to another person can lead to charges of distribution of child pornography. The intent behind sharing the image, whether malicious or not, is often irrelevant in the eyes of the law. This strict interpretation is designed to protect minors from exploitation, but it can also ensnare teenagers who may not fully understand the legal ramifications of their actions. The risks don't end with legal prosecution. Once an explicit image or video is sent, the original sender loses control over where it goes and who can see it. Digital content can be easily copied, saved, and redistributed, sometimes ending up on public platforms or in the hands of strangers. The emotional and psychological consequences for those whose private images are shared without their consent can be devastating. Victims may face harassment, bullying, and reputational damage, which can lead to anxiety, depression, and even self-harm. For adults, the legal issues surrounding sexting are somewhat different, but still significant. While consensual sexting between adults is generally legal, problems arise when explicit messages or images are sent without consent, or when they are used to threaten, blackmail, or harass someone. This behavior can be classified as sexual harassment, cyberbullying, or even extortion, depending on the circumstances. Many jurisdictions have laws against revenge porn, which refers to the non-consensual sharing of intimate images, often by a former partner seeking to embarrass or harm the victim. Convictions for these offenses can result in criminal charges, civil lawsuits, and substantial damages. Employers are increasingly aware of the risks associated with sexting, particularly when it intersects with workplace conduct. Sharing explicit messages or images with colleagues can violate company policies and lead to disciplinary action or termination. In some cases, it may also give rise to lawsuits if the behavior is deemed to create a hostile work environment. The line between personal and professional life is often blurred in the digital age, and it's essential to understand that private messages sent on company devices or networks may not be as private as you believe. Another aspect to consider is the role of consent. Sending or receiving sexually explicit material without clear, enthusiastic consent can be a violation of the law. Consent must be freely given and can be withdrawn at any time. If someone requests that explicit images or messages not be sent to them, continuing to do so may constitute harassment. Similarly, if a person shares an intimate image with someone they trust, and that image is distributed without their permission, the sender of the image may be able to take legal action against the distributor for invasion of privacy or emotional distress. Technology companies and social media platforms are increasingly taking steps to address the issue of sexting and its potential harms. Many platforms have policies that prohibit the sharing of explicit images or videos, especially those involving minors. If such content is detected, accounts may be suspended or banned, and law enforcement could be notified. Some messaging apps offer features like disappearing messages or encrypted chats, but even these do not guarantee complete privacy or immunity from legal consequences. Educational efforts are underway in schools and communities to inform young people about the risks of sexting. Programs often stress the importance of thinking carefully before sending any intimate image or message and encourage open communication about digital boundaries and consent. Parents and guardians play a crucial role in guiding their children, helping them understand that what seems like a private conversation can quickly become public and permanent. If you or someone you know becomes involved in a legal issue related to sexting, it is important to seek help from qualified legal professionals. The laws are complex and often change, so having expert advice is essential to understanding possible defenses and outcomes. In some cases, courts recognize that teenagers may make poor decisions and offer alternatives to criminal prosecution, such as diversion programs or educational workshops. However, these options are not always available and should not be relied upon as an excuse for risky behavior. The best way to protect yourself from the legal risks and consequences of sexting is to understand the law in your area, respect personal boundaries, and think carefully before sharing anything intimate online or via text. Remember that once an image or message is sent, control is lost, and the potential for harm increases. By prioritizing privacy, consent, and legal awareness, individuals can make informed choices that safeguard their futures. In summary, sexting carries significant legal risks and consequences, especially when minors are involved or when consent is not respected. The digital age has made it easier than ever to share intimate content, but it has also made it easier for that content to be misused or weaponized. Staying informed, setting clear boundaries, and seeking help when needed are the best tools for navigating the complex intersection of sexting and the law.